All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Pin High Media. We're going to talk a little bit about Tom Kim because he's just kind of the guy now. First guy to win two tournaments on the PGA Tour under 21 since Tiger. So we'll definitely tap into that. And we'll talk about the ZOZO, which it's Wednesday night as we're recording this, tees off at 7:50. So in like an hour and a half. So let's get into it.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
this is the Pin High Podcast pregame show.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of the talking golf pregame show.
Yeah, really.
ZOZO should be fun, but let's talk about Tom Kim first. Pretty wild, like when you think about the stat of first guy under 21 to win twice since Tiger.
Yes.
Now,
we know that, like, we've seen it from Tom Kim the last, like, even like ever since he's kind of just burst onto the scene. So like, okay, this guy's gonna be like good. Like, he could win right away, and he has won right away. And we saw him at the President's Cup a couple weeks ago, pretty electric there. We were like, is Tom Kim like a superstar in the making? And then he goes out and wins 2 weeks later. So
I'd love to see how he does at a more difficult course.
right.
Because the courses he's won at have been like very positional, which ZOZO this week is another positional course, which is be interesting. Because like I think he could keep it rolling, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the ZOZO definitely fits well for him, having played on the Asian tour as well.
Yeah.
Like,
And it also doesn't seem like he's somebody who would like have like the win hangover or like jet lag, or he just seems like a high energy guy that like he's just there to have fun. He's just there to have a good time.
yeah, and it to
So I think
win.
this is another week where he does well. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to win twice in a row on tour. Like no one really does it, but
Yeah, I mean, definitely could happen this week. I mean, yeah, the way that he won though, kind of fun. Patrick Cantlay, like, pretty much hitting it OB on 18
yeah,
and
that's very
collapsing.
uncharacteristic of Patrick
I know
Cantlay.
you
Like
you usually don't see that.
if I had to bet that Patrick Cantlay would have put a drive right down the middle, pounded, I I would have said, yeah, he's gonna hit the fairway. 100%.
That's not what happened. So
No, no. And then he tried to play it, which I get it because you're like, well,
if I don't, then I lose.
if I don't, like, at least if I don't get this out, like, there's no way I'm getting up and down from like in the rocks already, pretty much. So it made sense, but like not really because it just basically automatically lost him the tournament once he hit that shot.
Yeah, it killed him there. But I mean, he went for it, which, I mean, you kind of got to respect it if you're
You
gonna hit
gotta
it
respect it.
there and you're gonna go for it. Like,
It's a I don't give a damn. This is the Shriners Open. Like this isn't the Masters.
yeah,
I'm gonna go for it.
uh, yeah, no, I respect it. I mean, kind of dominated the week, and Tom Kim just kind of stuck with him the entire time, which,
Yeah.
like, I didn't really like. I don't want to say he was under the radar because, like, he was up there the entire time, and he's Tom Kim, and he's been pretty good. But like, storylines are all Cantlay. He was like going for like a 59 was it Saturday or Friday?
Saturday, I believe.
And yeah, and Tom Kim was just still right there with him the
Yeah.
entire time. I mean, at 24 under.
Didn't make a
So
bogey.
didn't make a bogey. I mean, not an incredibly hard course, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I am sorry to anybody who listened to the podcast last week and picked JJ Spawn for any reason, because that's the guy we ended up on for the pool. But we actually ended up picking Tom Hoagie. Like we war roomed after the episode because we are kind of dragging our
Yeah.
feet on the episode, which it happens. We're not always gonna have our fastball, but yeah, I mean, Tom Hoagie ended up T4. He's the first round leader. Shout out. And overall, like it was a good leaderboard.
Yeah, it was a go leaderboard. And just saying, JJ Spawn did finish T15. So
Oh, so still
Actually,
good.
no. Yeah, T15, not bad.
Okay. So still gave it a good pick, no matter what.
Yeah, it was a pretty good leaderboard. I kind of said that going into Saturday, like, oh, I like the way this is shaping up. You have Tom Kim, Pat Cantlay, Mito Pereira, like Sunjay M was up there, Siwoo Kim was up there. So like pretty much all your big names in the tournament last week kind of found themselves to the top of the leaderboard. So it did turn out to be a good tournament.
Yeah, and on that note, I don't think we have to talk too much about the Shriners, but we can kind of get into the ZOZO. It's interesting that it's teeing off because me and Jeek did this on Wednesday because last night we were at the Yankee playoff game. Shout out. And I was looking at the deadline to put in our picks, and it's 7:50 p.m. on Wednesday night. I was like, oh my God, this
Yeah,
is
we
gonna
gotta
be
look.
this is gonna come out after round one.
Yes.
Which, I mean, if you listen to this show only for like our picks, breaking news, we're not that good.
Yeah,
Like,
you're probably not doing that well.
yeah.
You may have
Well,
a couple of gems every once in a while, but you're probably not doing that
Peter,
well.
we're we're actually pretty good for not being like incredibly serious about
Yes.
it.
Yes. If you want picks that are
Honestly,
gonna
I wish
win,
Trevor was here to defend himself. You and me are, but like Trevor, when we had that unit thing that
yeah,
competition we were doing,
wasn't going great. Well,
he
Trevor
he
has
would
a rotating
occasionally talk.
cast. He has a
He
rotating cast of who he likes, and he sticks with it, and I kind of respect it. So,
and he loses every time.
well, yeah. I mean, and now he can't now he can't even pick Abraham Answer because he's on live, so it's like it's even worse. But
Oh yeah. Well, Xander's the outright favorite this week. The Zozo's at the Narashino Country Club in Japan. Apparently, it's kind of like a positional course. It's like
yeah,
shorter, but
very
you
tight.
can't overpower it. It's tight. Which really I feel like that suits Tom Kim pretty damn well.
Yeah, it's like not it's 7,000 yards. It's a par 70. The course has 3 par 5s and 5 par 3s, which is not traditional for a par 70.
Yeah.
And the par 4s play long. Like there's no like drivable par 4s or anything like that. So,
How many
um,
par threes?
5,
How many par fives?
3.
You know who else has that? Who's a par 70?
Silver Mine Golf Club.
I think so. Someone have five par threes?
Yeah. 3, 6. I mean, a lot of the par 4s are basically par 3s, but 3,
12,
6, 12,
14.
14, and 18.
Is that 4 or 5?
That's 5.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was thinking of that as you said that. I was like, oh, you said non-traditional, and Silver's
Yeah, it's only like a
exactly that.
thousand less yards.
Yeah. But anyway, it should be interesting because it's only an 80-man field, I believe. I was trying to count it out, give or take one or two. It's only an 80-man field.
Right.
Like I was looking at the top 40s, and Xander Schauffele's like minus 1,200. I was like, why is that? But it's because of the 80-man field. Hideki Matsuyama is surprisingly like 16-1 to win this tournament, or like 14-1.
Yeah, and he's last year's winner, 15 under last year, won the tournament.
Yeah, but I mean, he does not miss at this place.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, yeah, I kind of like it, but will he win somewhere else is the real question
Yeah, so I guess
for our pick.
we're doing this new thing where, we'll talk through some guys that we might want to pick for our OAD one and done pool. But I think I want to start. We just talk through it with Xander. I don't think this is the place to pick Xander, although he'll probably finish in the top whatever. I don't think there's big enough of a
Neither do I.
price to do it. Because this is another thing you have to take into account. The point system is how much money you make.
Correct. You gotta wait for the tournament of champions for Xander anyway. So
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Xander's probably not the play for us this week, even though he probably will play pretty well. He does well in the fall swing. It is like he wins in the fall swing, which is interesting. But uh yeah, I wouldn't go Xander. I do like Matsuyama. I don't know. I feel like
I
that's
think
the
it's that
popular.
number.
I like it the number, but I feel like that's the popular pick in terms of like our field this week. Like I'm gonna guess he has the highest picked percentage this week, based on the fact
Yes,
that he's
but
last year's winner and like this might be just a tournament for him. But
so I think it's more of a maybe if you're listening and you were playing both an OAD, a DFS, and betting outrights. Maybe it's just a guy you bet outright, but you maybe
right,
don't throw in your OAD because like it's chalky. Um, it is kind of the spot to do it if like with Hideki because like it's one of the tournaments where he's kind of a sure thing.
right.
You're going to use him, so we can come back to that. But um, a guy that I personally was looking at was our guy, Christian Gesundheit.
Interesting.
He's
And
off to a
what are the
pretty good
stats
start this
there?
year.
Oh,
He's off to a pretty good start this year. I think he's like, I mean, it's a small sample size, but he's ball striking the ball really well. He's like second so far this season, but like a small sample size with not a lot of people. And he's also been really good around the greens so far, which is apparently like a pretty, um, you know, big stat this week is being able to not only like hit the fairways and ball strike, but also get up and down. Because just with the narrow fairways, I feel like
right. Small
that
greens
happens.
too. Yeah,
It happens, yeah, exactly. So that was a guy that stood out to me as somebody who's probably not chalky.
I agree. Going back to just like the favorites, I think Sanjay M is going to be a popular pick this week as well. I think
Yeah,
10-1, 12-1 is where he's sitting at right now. His game just fits a course like this. But again, for our pick, I'm not sure if that's the right move.
I agree. I agree. I think that there's a couple guys where everybody's just gonna pick him. It's like Tom Kim. Anybody who didn't pick him might pick him again. Like Tom Hoagie, he's coming off a good week. Like some guys are gonna pick him. I th
Yeah.
think last week we did a pretty good job of like being a little contrarian, like not too much because like still a lot of people had Tom Hoagie, but we did a better job than before. We were quite chalky the weeks prior.
I mean, here's one thing. What do you think about Tommy Fleetwood? He's not like super on everybody's radar right now. Still a big name, but not super on everyone's radar. Keeps the ball in the
But
fairway for the most part. He had a really good putting season last year. I think he was strokes gained 20 something. Um, could kind of fit this golf course pretty well if you think about types of players. Good short game.
yeah, no, you're right. Well, his short game is unreal. It always has been. And it's kind of a consistency. How is he? Is he pretty good off the tee, like accuracy wise?
About to search it up. I just like
I
I
know
for
he
some
did.
reason I see Tommy Fleetwood. I'm like, oh yeah, that stinger off the tee, like right down the
Also,
middle.
he has great finishes here. If you didn't already know that,
Did not already know that.
he's finished T2 here before. So like he could be chalky because of that.
Right. I mean, I do like it. I don't know what other tournament I would pick Tommy Fleetwood for, honestly. Um, let's see.
That's
Last
actually
year,
that's not a bad point, Jeek, because like he's not a great tour player.
right. He doesn't win PGA Tour. Well, he hasn't won a PGA Tour event
And
actually.
that's not saying he's not a good player. He's not a good PGA Tour player. Like for some reason,
His I will say his like strokes gain off the tee stats are not great, especially like his accuracy stats haven't been great on the PGA Tour, but I don't know why. I think Tommy Fleetwood, like if he has an iron in his hand off the tee, he's gonna hit it in the fairway. It's just the driver that he like struggles with, but
you
this
might
might
not
not
even need to hit
really,
driver
yeah, this might
too
not be a
much.
driver course.
There's a lot of par threes, like you said.
Yeah,
Par fives are generally going to be more wide open. I don't know about these two par fives, if I'm going to be completely honest. But if he can have an iron in his hand off the tee, then it does make sense.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's played well here. He's played here, which is, I guess, a plus too, because like a lot of guys haven't really played out in Japan. So that's another plus. And it's literally all about, does he keep the ball and play off the tee? I think his short game's good enough. His approach game's good enough. His putting's been good.
Mm. And then another guy is Keegan Bradley. I think that he's been a pretty popular pick that I've seen among like some of the guys on Twitter. I don't know if that necessarily means that he's going to be like highly picked in our thing, but just another guy. He had a good finish at the Fortinet.
He's also played well at this event too. T7, T13. Good course fit, I guess.
Yeah. So
I mean, I feel like there's another event where like Keegan Bradley is like in the pool of names to pick from, but I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what event it is, but there's got to be one. What about
I think
players?
like the Memorial or something. I feel like he's really good
Yeah.
at the Memorial.
What about players that we absolutely wouldn't pick? Go reverse
Thigala's
psychology.
kind of scared me recently, I feel like. Don't really want to. I don't know if this is the spot.
Nah, yeah, I agree.
I think for I mean obviously we can't pick Tom Hoagie, but I don't think let's start talking about like because last week we were like he seems like a Vegas guy about Tom Hoagie. You know,
right.
I don't know if he's really a Japan guy, but who do you look at here and you're like they're a Japan guy. Like I could see him playing well in Japan.
I mean, going down, just got to move down the list. I mean, up at the top of the list, I can see Colin Morikawa playing pretty well out here, but
He did have a good finish last year, I believe, here.
again, like I just have the course fit kind of in mind, but like, yeah, I can see him playing well out here.
Like another guy that I don't think I want to pick at the ZOZO, though.
Yeah,
I don't want to
agreed.
waste him already.
Um, like I'm trying to look at the bottom of the field and be like, who do I think's gonna
I
gonna
don't
play
think this
well
is
out
it's
here?
a no cut event. I don't think
Yeah,
this is
it's
a week
tough.
that some rando comes up out of nowhere.
I mean, Mackenzie Hughes won
Short
a
game.
couple weeks ago. Good short game. Played in the Olympics in Japan, I believe. Um,
Did he play well there? Because he played for Canada, I'm assuming.
yeah, I don't know if he played well, but a couple years ago.
Wasn't it wasn't at this course, was it?
Don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No. I'm just looking to see if he played well at the
Because
Olympics.
Japan golf, like apparently it's a very traditional Japanese course.
Right. Um, he didn't really play particularly well at the Olympics. So, no. Going back to the Olympics, just Japan golf. Obviously, Xander won. Looking in the field this week, Morikawa, Pereira, tied fourth in the Olympics. Hideki Matsuyama. I think there was that big playoff, if you remember, for the bronze medal.
Yeah.
So all those guys were in that playoff. Um, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't put too much into that.
One more guy I want to talk about before we make our decision. Scory
Yes.
doesn't really have the short game, but that's kind of been his thing. I mean, like it's gotten a lot better.
Right.
It's still not good, but like bad putters have played well here still. So I think the putting's not really the issue.
He scares me a little bit.
He's
Just
accurate off the tee though,
yeah, but just based
and he's
on
an elite iron player.
based on form, he scares me quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, what's Tommy Fleetwood's form like?
Tommy Fleetwood hasn't played on the PGA Tour yet this season, so you probably have to go to the European Tour to figure out how well he's done.
Yeah.
The Spanish Open T39, the Alfred Dunhill T22, the BMW PGA T57. Those are kind of the last 3 recent.
It's not bad though. Like if
No,
if you're
not at
going
all.
to a course that you're comfortable at, yeah, that's like fine. I really do think it's between Matsuyama, Fleetwood, and I mean, for me, I think the Bezadenhout one's interesting. I don't know if that's worth it, but also Keegan Bradley. Those are like the 4 that
I do like. I might want to keep a Zaynhout in my pocket for like an off week event where like there's just no one in the field, and you're like, this guy could do something. I don't know if that's the right strategy, but
because you think that, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a full no cut event
right.
where like somebody good's gonna win because you
Yeah,
give
with
anybody
good
4
players.
rounds
Yeah,
in a weak field because like it's very top heavy. It's good top half. It's gonna be a good leaderboard, I think, but
I agree.
bottom
Similar to
half,
last
yeah.
week. So yeah, I guess I'm between Matsuyama and Fleetwood. I think you're more likely to use Matsuyama at another event, but he's probably the safer pick as well. So I don't know. It's the kind of a balancing act of what you think for a pool pick would be the
Right.
best way to go.
So we're gonna narrow it down between those 2.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Tough. It's a tough
Eeny,
decision.
meeny, miny, mo.
I mean, how many people win back to tournaments back to back years? I mean, it does happen quite a bit, I guess. But
It's just the storyline. I don't know.
yeah,
Last year we were like the storyline makes sense for Matsuyama because Japan
yeah, Masters
throws those
champ.
back.
Hmm.
I lean Fleetwood just because of the pool stuff.
Yeah, I
And he's
also
been good here before too. And less people will have him than Matsuyama, I'd assume. People, I think more people will still have him, but and like when else will you pick him this year?
yeah, I agree. I think I'll go Fleetwood. I like Fleetwood. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. And
Also, I
then
just have that video of him hitting like a chip shot on at St. Andrews at the Alfred Dunhill a couple weeks ago, on the 17th,
oh yeah,
and hitting the other ball into the
you
hole.
scold. Oh yeah, there's a different one, but yeah.
Um,
And then we also need to make our alternate pick.
um, alternate pick.
Say no,
Maybe.
Keegan.
Yeah, I think let's do Keegan.
Okay.
We're more likely not to need the
Oh yeah, no, it's
pick.
literally
It's like
only if it's yeah, it's if
it's just
Likely withdraws in the next hour.
when Keegan wins and we're like, oh well, we have him as our alternate pick, so
Exactly.
we knew what was up.
Exactly. All right. So let's get into the clubhouse to end the week. We got some free codes from
Oh yeah,
PGA Tour 2K23, and I downloaded it today.
so did I.
Played it for 3 minutes, probably. The opening tutorial on the driving range with Tiger Woods.
Nice.
It's cool.
Is it?
It's a nice swing meter this year.
I've seen the videos. I downloaded it today. Was a little busy, but I didn't get to play it yet. But yeah, I'm excited to see what
I
it's
took
like.
like 5 swings, I think, on the driving range.
Excited to see what it's all about. Yeah, should be we'll relay some info on it when
Yeah, no,
we play a little bit more. Well, maybe next week's podcast if there's not much to
we'll
talk
have played it
about.
a little bit. Yeah,
We'll
100%.
we'll give a little bit of a review. Yeah, it's big for golf video games right now. You got 2K coming in, you got
Yeah,
EA Sports is coming out with their game too. I'm curious to see what those two are going to be like compared to each other. Is there going to be a clear winner? Is they going to be very similar? Like, brings me back to the NBA 2K, NBA Live days.
yeah, yeah. The rivalry. I mean, I think both have a lot of potential.
I
And
agree.
somebody's going to come out, maybe not this year, never know, but like within the next few years as the top dog. But that's good that they have two because it makes competition, makes it so they can't just make the same game every year.
Yeah, agreed. It is a good thing.
Kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
like
excited about
PGA
it.
Tour and LIV Golf, except not really.
EA Sports Live Golf 2023
Yeah.
happen.
Oh my God, that'd be awful. That'd be a fun game though.
Probably would be.
Could probably
Is
add
there a
some good
Live Golf
features.
event this week? Or am I
There
just
was last week.
last week?
It was Bangkok. DJ won.
Shakara won, right? Or DJ
Or
won?
no, sorry, Jakara won. DJ won the season long.
Right. Which he won $18 million for the season long.
That's still just taking it off his tab though, like the $100 million thing,
Well,
right?
yes, but it does like as a
Like
headline,
250 million.
it looks kind of
Yeah.
nice that he won $18 million for playing 5 events or whatever it was.
The eventually gets
It is interesting to see that Chikara like played well last week. He was like one of the guys that came straight out of college and he's won like his third event.
yeah, good for him, I guess. Because like guys
Um,
like him that didn't take a big signing bonus or whatever, like they're just they're gonna start ripping like checks pretty much for if you start doing well.
that's right. So there is an event this week, the Jeddah event, Royal Greens and Country Club.
Live?
Yes.
I don't really care.
Is this the team one? When's the team one? I just want to tune in for
I
like
think
10
that's the
minutes of the
weekend of
team one.
Halloween. It's like a Halloween
Oh,
weekend, I
okay.
thought. Like 29th.
In Miami, at Trump Doral. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Kind of want to see what that one's about, just to see if they like figured out team golf compared to the PGA Tour.
Yeah, I'll maybe tune in. Depends on it's a good college football weekend. I mean, I think Syracuse plays Notre Dame that weekend, so
Sure.
yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right.
that our
Next
picks are
week I
all
think
in.
next week I think we got the Butterfield Bermuda finally, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I'm pulling it up right now. Nope, we got the CJ Cup, which actually has a really good field.
These
Then it's the
these
Butterfield Bermuda.
yeah, these tournaments are usually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Where's the CJ Cup this year?
Back at Congaree, where they had the Palmetto Championship that one time,
Okay.
which yielded like a 11 under winning score. So it could be a good tournament.
Interesting to see what the hangover is like from the travel to Japan back for the guys who play in both these tournaments.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that should be bad.
something to account for next week.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, so we'll talk to you next week for that. Hopefully Tommy Fleetwood gets after it for us.